Long before time had a name, the first Spinjitzu master created
Time.
using 4 elemental weapons.
What is time? The basic definition of time is, quote, the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole, according to the Oxford Languages Dictionary. But really, what is time? The definition explains that time is a continued process that displays the past, present, and future. Now, how do these apply to it? What are these 3 definitions for our definition of time? And why do they ultimately matter? We must first begin with our basic understanding of time as humans. Time is the pinnacle of our existence. Without our understanding of time, we wouldn't be as organized as we are today. We wouldn't be as put together as we are today. We certainly wouldn't be as on top of things as we are today. Without our now simple and everyday thing we call time, we would be a hot mess of society, all wrapped up in what we call our sphere of a world, and burning alive. Hypothetically, of course. To sound more official and smart, our understanding of our time frame would solely be focused on what we could see based on natural guidance versus our digital renditions we have today, which automatically do it for us. With this being said, what if I were to say that originally, the modern day digital time understanding didn't exist today? We had to go off the moon, sun, and at one point these weird pendulum things. We're entering the elocution phase now. First, the definition of the word moon needs to be stated. According to the book The Discoverers by Daniel J. Boorstin, the word moon in English and its cognate in other languages are rooted in the base me, meaning measure, reminding us of the moon's primitive service as the first universal measure of time. The ancient Babylonians started their lunar calendar. This was the cycle that followed the moon. The moon has a 28-day cycle. In 432 BC, the Metonic cycle was discovered and lasted 19 years. They found that if they used a 19-year cycle assigned to the 7 of the year's 13 months and assigned to the other 12 years only 12 months, they could continue to use the conveniently visible phases of the moon as the base of their calendar. This overall helped them avoid quote-unquote the wandering year, which was where seasons wandered gradually through the winter months, causing there to be no easy way to tell when the lunar year would bring a new season. Later, the Egyptians escaped the idea of the lunar year. They were the first to discover the length of the solar year and to explain the useful and practical fashion of it. Today, we don't have records on when and why and how they were able to understand the rising and setting of the sun, but by 2500 BC, the Egyptians were able to use their discoveries. Soon, by 3200 BC, the solar calendar was invented for everyday needs and everyone used it throughout the whole Nile Valley, which was united with the Nile Delta. This lasted for 3,000 years until the age of Cleopatra. Since the solar year was not precisely 365 days, the Egyptian year of 365 days would become a quote-unquote wandering year over the centuries. This caused each named month to gradually occur through different seasons. With all this being said, the Egyptian calendar still served so much better than any other calendar during the time, and it was later adopted by Julius Caesar, who we should all know well. Julius Caesar soon turned this calendar into what is known as the Julian calendar. This calendar was kept throughout the Middle Ages. In October of 1582, Pope Gregory XIII introduced the Gregorian calendar, which is what we use today. It was created to reform the existing Julian calendar, which had become inaccurate with its time of the solar year and Easter. The first form of clock was the sundial. After this, mankind began to use water as a timepiece. This was the beginning of the water clock. It was not only more convenient, but precise. After water clocks were invented, the hourglass came into play. Instead of using water, people would use sand to measure the time. However, the sand glass didn't work too well, as it only would measure the day because people didn't want to continuously flip it over the night on shift. During the time that the water clocks were being used, Alfred the Great invented the candle clock, which marked 1-inch division. The candles were lit in rotation, and the 6 candles were said to last a full 24 hours. During the late 1200s, the first mechanical clocks merged in Europe. They used a weight-driven mechanism, a verge and fouliot escapement, to regulate the time. After this, in 1656, the pendulum clock was invented by Christian Huygens, which further improved the accuracy. In conclusion, the question, what is time, is much larger than the generalized understanding of time. It holds so much information regarding the history of the calendar, the overall development of keeping the time, and how it was enacted throughout different generations, villages, kingdoms, and people for thousands of years since the dawn of creation.